right. Have you filed your taxes yet? If you haven't, don't worry. That tax deadline is approaching, though, and I know many of you are looking for just simple ways to avoid mistakes and make this whole process smoother. So Exit Wealth CEO Justin Farmer joins us today to break down last-minute tax tips, some key reminders, and free resources, that can help you during this time. Justin, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Jasmine. Good to see you. I don't think I've in my life met someone who likes preparing their taxes. I know you don't. I know I don't, right? Who wants to go dig into the drawers and find the documents, right?
Right. Absolutely. You're right there. It is just a tedious process here, and I know many people get frustrated with it. So what are some of the most important basics people should know when it comes to filing their taxes?
And you know, it's funny. The IRS, the federal government, doesn't give you an option. You're required.
Yeah, so
let's get to it.
That's right.
I mean, you could refuse to pay them and then you find yourself in prison. So let's not do that.
I wouldn't do that.
Let's not do that. I mean, Willie Nelson tried it and it didn't end well. All right, so let's talk about what you got to do. You got to get your documents in order. That's just the first step in your affairs. You got to get your W-2s, your 1099s, K-1s on investments. You also want to think about unreimbursed business expenses. A lot of people don't think of those things that they did for business, especially if they work for themselves. Your unreimbursed mileage that you've had, you can write off a portion of a lease if you lease your car. Also, you've got capital expenditures that are highly deductible now with the new tax codes. You can take all of the depreciation in 1 year in that tax year, and that's talking about computers and phones, any a fax machine or a shredder or any sort of expense that was related to your office. You can write some or all of that off. Don't forget about your home office. What this really leans into, Jasmine, is this. Are you more of a W-2 person who will take the standard IRS deduction, that standard tax deduction? That's most Americans. But if you're a homeowner and you have a lot of complicated write-offs, if you are a business owner, then odds are you are going to do very careful itemization of your expenses, all of those different kinds of expenses, not just involved with your business, but also you want to keep track of any charitable contributions, donations that you've made throughout the year. This is the thing, Jasmine. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. And the more organized you are, and the more thorough you are, and the more you understand the tax code, the more money you can keep.
Justin, thanks for sharing this information here. Can you talk about who typically benefits from itemizing? You said some homeowners and business owners, correct?
Absolutely. Okay. There are so many intricacies involved when you're a homeowner, things that you do to keep up your home. If you have a home office that you're legitimately doing work out of, you have to show profitability about 2 of every 5 years, or the IRS will call it a hobby. But if you have a side gig or a side business and you have a home office to help facilitate some of that work, you can be both a W-2 and you can have an LLC on the side, and you can really set yourself up for doing a lot of itemized deductions. Again, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. As it starts to get more and more complicated, that's where you're going to want to seek out a tax professional to help you with that return.
Yeah, very important to seek out a tax professional when you just need some help. You have extra documents you need to sift through. So if somebody's not ready to file by the 15th, or if they can't meet that deadline, just in general, what options do they have? You raised your hand.
Guilty as charged, Jasmine. Yes. Here's what's really cool. The IRS allows you to file an extension. It's totally free. So if you just can't get your documentation together by the 15th of April, either your CPA is backed up or your business is complicated and you're waiting on another K-1 or a 1099, or you're just a procrastinator or some combination therein. If you just need more time, no problem. It's a simple form. You can go online, Google it, or use AI, and it'll show you. It's very simple how to get that extension. Here is the key thing to know, though. You can apply for an extension to file your taxes, but you cannot get an extension to pay a portion of your taxes. So if you owe, You need to figure that out and make what's called an estimated payment by that April 15th deadline. If you don't and you end up owing, Jasmine, you're going to get hit with penalties and interest, and that is no fun. My least favorite check to write is anything that goes to the IRS, but maybe that's just me.
Yes, and now, for people who do owe money, what happens if they can't pay that full amount right away? What can they do if they can't pay that full amount?
That is an excellent question. So here's the good news. If you're in a bind, the IRS will work with you. What you don't want to do is ignore them and just hope that somehow it magically goes away, or no, that is the worst tact. Again, what you want to do is be communicative, and they'll set up a payment plan for you. And actually, they're quite generous with the terms that they can set up for people. At this point, you also want to really seek some outside help. And there are free resources and local assistance that you can get, Jasmine.
That sounds good. And speaking of resources, can you give us, pretty quickly here, what resources are available through the IRS?
Yep, I think it's on your graphic right there. Start with irs.gov. That's the official site of the Internal Revenue Service. It's a thorough website. It was redesigned shortly after COVID, and it's actually quite helpful. And it's just chock full of information to make sure that you're doing things well and you're doing it on time. Also in Atlanta, you can look for a local VITA program. Stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, for free. These volunteers will help you. Also, United Way of Greater Atlanta offers free tax preparation services. So again, start with irs.gov, but also look at unitedwayatlanta.org, unitedwayatlanta.org. Get knowledgeable, y'all, on your tax situation and your preparation and dates, and then it won't be so stressful. You'll get it done, you'll move on, and we can all enjoy a nice spring.
All right, Justin, thank you so much for giving us all this information, these last-minute tax filing tips. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, Jasmine. Thanks.